Recently, during the Lok Sabha elections, Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party created significant propaganda claiming that the BJP would change the constitution if re elected to power. There are multiple reasons why this allegation is not only blatant lie but also a mockery of logic and historical truth. The first question that arises is what exactly does changing the constitution mean? Surely, he is not implying that the constitution we have today is in its original unchanged form without any amendments. There have been more than 100 amendments to the Constitution to date, with most enacted by the Congress governments. Our Constitution came into force in 1950, and the first amendment was made the very next year in 1951 by Prime Minister Nehru. It is rather ironic that today the Congress party and the entire left-wing ecosystem accuse the BJP of curbing freedom of speech when in the first amendment Prime Minister Nehru expanded the scope of reasonable restrictions on the freedom of speech and expression guaranteed as a fundamental right in Article 19(1)(a) of the Constitution. This move was bitterly opposed by Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, who criticized Nehru, saying, "You are treating this constitution as a piece of paper." However, with the parliamentary majority, Nehru's amendment was passed. This was not the end of the constitutional changes. The darkest chapter in the political history of independent India came during the internal emergency imposed by Prime Minister Indira Gandhi when opposition leaders were jailed and the infamous 42nd Amendment was enacted. Many amendments were made before and after this period, but the 42nd Amendment stands out for its far-reaching effects and is often referred to as the mini-constitution. This amendment, among other things, added the words secular and socialist to the preamble of the Constitution. These terms had been explicitly debated and rejected by several founding members, including Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who opposed the inclusion of socialist because he believed it would destroy democracy altogether. Both the First Amendment and the 42nd Amendment were made under unusual circumstances. The 1951 Amendment occurred before the first Lok Sabha elections with a provisional parliament in place. The 42nd Amendment was enacted during the internal emergency when opposition leaders were imprisoned. If one is truly searching for dictatorship in Indian politics, these instances provide clear evidence. Indira Gandhi's government desire for absolute power to amend the constitution led to prolonged conflict with the judiciary. In Golaknath case 1967, the Supreme Court ruled that Parliament could not amend fundamental rights. In response, Indira Gandhi's government enacted a 24th Amendment in 1971, asserting Parliament's unfettered power to amend any part of the constitution, including fundamental rights. This led to the landmark Keshav Nanda Bharati case in 1973, where the Supreme Court ruled that while Parliament could amend the constitution, it could not alter its basic structure. The 42nd Amendment sought to curtail judicial review and reinforce parliamentary supremacy, significantly altering the constitution. After the emergency, the Janata Party government reversed many changes made by the 42nd Amendment, restoring judicial review and fundamental rights. In the Minerva Mills case 1980, the Supreme Court reaffirmed the basic structure doctrine, ruling that amendments violating the constitution's basic structure were invalid. On its own, the Congress government under Indira Gandhi showed no bounds or ethics in changing the constitution. The Indian constitution has provisions for amendments and there is nothing inherently unconstitutional about it. However, the context in which these amendments were made raises questions about the ethical conduct of the Congress government. Therefore, it is ironic when Congress and Rahul Gandhi propagate the idea that the BJP will change the constitution. This claim lacks logical sense and ignores Congress' own history of constitutional amendments. Election campaigning is a sacred process in a democracy, ensuring that people can hear from every contender and make informed decisions. It is the ethical duty of every politician to base their criticisms on truth with the ultimate aim of informing the public. This responsibility lies heavily on politicians. Key questions that Rahul Gandhi and Congress should answer include: when did the BJP explicitly state that it would change the constitution in a manner that discards it entirely? What is their stance on all the amendments and changes that Congress and the Gandhi family enacted by brute force? Do they oppose the constitutional amendment provisions that have been part of the constitution since its inception? A responsible politician would address these questions maturely and engage in a constructive debate. However, what Congress and Rahul Gandhi did instead was create hysteria and an environment of panic. In any responsible democracy, such action should be held accountable to the people.